And joining us now, the Democratic Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey. He's on the Judiciary Committee and questioned Bondi yesterday. Senator, thanks so much for joining us. Before we get to the Attorney General's testimony, as you know, James Comey has been a critic of the president, and Trump has repeatedly attacked him since he fired him back in 2017. Comey's attorney says this case was, quote, brought by President Trump. Do you see this case as political retribution?
I mean, it is what Donald Trump has said it is. I've never seen anything like this, where he is literally going on Twitter to try to command his attorney general to do his bidding and go after his political enemies. Donald Trump is saying these things. We should believe him that this is what he's doing right now. They've been using the Justice Department to go after people in politics. They arrested my mayor of my city, Newark, New Jersey, and the judge looked at the evidence and just laughed it out of the court and said, this is embarrassing to the Justice Department. Right now they have charges against my congresswoman, LaMonica MacGyver. They are systematically going after their political enemies. And even when noble agents, career agents, stand up and say things are wrong, they then get fired, like their attempt to do a perp walk with Comey as if that was necessary. So this is a very dangerous time for America, where you have a president of the United States who does not respect the rule of law and believes that the Justice Department isn't an independent investigatory body, but is to do his bidding. This is a time we all must stand up and speak out against this.
As you know, Senator, the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, was very combative with Democrats like you during her testimony, launching many personal attacks against your Democratic colleagues in what critics have called brazenly partisan behavior. I want to play just a little bit of that, of what we saw. Watch this.
I'm not going to be lectured to you about integrity by someone who lied about being in the military. Senator, I don't think a lot of people like that you were out protesting with Antifa. Right. I wish that you loved your state of California as much as you hate President Trump. How dare you? I'm a career prosecutor. Don't you ever challenge my integrity.
So, Senator, what did you make of those exchanges, and can you conduct oversight of the Department of Justice right now?
I think the ranking member, Dick Durbin, said it the best, which is we have an obligation, a constitutional obligation, to ask questions that give us insights into how a department and agency is being run. That is our job. We cannot let these important hearings deteriorate into a back and forth that doesn't go to the substance of the questions that were asked. I had a lot of really legitimate questions about why, according to Cato, the Conservative Institute, are they transferring upwards of 40% of our FBI agents who are doing things like investigating sex crimes and corporate corruption and drug trafficking being shifted into immigration enforcement. ATF agents being shifted into immigration enforcement, where they're going after low-level offenders, raiding in massed agents up out of unmarked cars, raiding schools and hospitals and court appearances. Why are we doing that as opposed to doing the things that keep guns off of our streets and violent predators off of our away from our communities? And so those questions are legitimate. And what bothers me the most about this is to watch the silence and complicity of my Senate Republican colleagues, who I know from serving with some of them for over a decade that they know this behavior is wrong and they wouldn't tolerate it from a Democratic president. Why are they being silent right now and not doing what Congress is supposed to do, which is to provide a check and balance and oversight to the executive, especially at a time that our executive has become so extreme, so corrupt, so cruel, and so chaotic?
During that Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, Democrats expressed deep concerns that the U.S. Justice Department is prosecuting President Trump's political opponents, something Bondi promised not to do during her confirmation hearings before the Senate. Many of your Republican colleagues argue that President Biden weaponized the Justice Department against Republicans. So how do you respond to that?
President Biden never wrote emails or text messages, rather, or tweets calling out his attorney general, commanding or directing them to attack his political enemies. Donald Trump is way out of the main of anything we have seen coming from the White House in the modern era. He is all about defending the people who defend him, even if they are people who stormed this Capitol, beat savagely police officers. He will pardon you because you are doing his bidding. And if you don't do his bidding, He's already shown he has fired U.S. attorneys, fired FBI agents, fired career professionals who have the courage to stand up and talk truthfully about the law, and that they're not willing to violate it. I'm sorry, we have never seen something like this in the modern era of a president willing to go to these kind of extremes to punish his political enemy, to abuse the law. It is wrong, and we need to start calling it, because he is undermining the foundations of our democratic order.
While I have you, Senator Booker, I also want to get to another very sensitive issue. As you know, it's day 8 now of this federal government shutdown. And as you also know, House Republicans have already passed a clean short-term funding bill that would keep the government open, but Senate Democrats have refused to support that House-passed bill. I know you and other Democrats want to address the Affordable Care Act subsidies, which are set to expire at the end of the year. But why not vote to fund the government, keep it open now, and negotiate on the health subsidies, which won't end for several more weeks, and let that play out in the coming weeks, but at the same time, keep the government open?
I love that you asked this question, because it is not true that this is a clean CR. What we see for the last we have seen for the last 4 years, why there was no government shutdown, when Democrats controlled the House, the Senate, and the White House, is they brought all the parties to the table, and we did it in a bipartisan process. Donald Trump controls the White House. He has the most complicit set of Republicans in the House and the Senate. He controls them both. He has said in his own words in the past, it is up for the President of the United States to bring the parties together and get a budget passed. So to be saying that this is the Democrats is utterly wrong. He holds the responsibility. And what are we standing up for? We're standing up for the twin tsunamis of healthcare disaster that will be hitting our country in a matter of weeks. Because in his big, beautiful bill, when he benefited billionaires, he went after Medicaid. Millions will lose their health insurance. And now his intention, as he said in Project 2025, is to gut the Affordable Care Act. He's going to gut it, and people are going to see their premiums increase, and millions more lose their health insurance. It'll be the biggest loss of health insurance ever in this country. Millions of Americans seeing their health insurance gone or their premiums skyrocket. All we're saying is make people's lives better. I talk to New Jerseyans every day about this. Yesterday, I talked to a mom who's making $30-something thousand a year because she has to stay home and take care of her autistic child. She cannot afford the hundreds and hundreds of dollars of premium increases and still afford rent. This story is repeated thousands and thousands of times all across America. We know that the Republicans want to give big tax cuts to billionaires, but the struggling families that need their help, that are seeing rising costs on groceries and energy and now healthcare, they need our help. We are standing up and fighting for them, and I am not apologetic about saying to Republicans, if you want my vote, you better help Americans deal with these rising costs of their health care.
But Senator, as you know, including in your state of New Jersey, a lot of federal employees will start missing paychecks and possibly be laid off permanently. There's been short-term staffing problems at major airports around the country, including in your state of New Jersey at Newark. Do you worry at all that prolonging the shutdown could backfire on Democrats?
Oh, I worry not about the politics, I worry about the people. Donald Trump has said in his own words, quote unquote, he's using this shutdown, quote, to cause maximum pain. Remember, this is the guy with the chainsaw attacks already gutting USAID, gutting the Department of Education, costing my state millions and millions of dollars of investments to keep our streets safe, investments in local police departments, investments in big infrastructure programs. Donald Trump doesn't care about the people. He cares about winning at all costs in his way only. It's not about bipartisan negotiation. He's about maximum pain, hurting people. He needs to end this shutdown now, come to the table and do something to help what is the major fear of millions of Americans and those Republicans and Democrats who run New Jersey hospitals, who are seeing their hospitals face a cataclysmic economic event if people are losing their health insurance. Help people, that's all we're saying. All we're saying, bring everybody to the table and do something. Don't inflict maximum pain. Stop your cruelty. Stop singling people out, singling states out. Come to the table and govern in the way people want you to do, which is to solve problems.
Senator Cory Booker, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it very much, and we'll be right back.